Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And we are going to have a fantastic time today. I'm just so excited. It's like a familiar face that I know and love. And I just, it's been a while since I've been in Houston and able to join the Social Media Breakfast. Cami, good morning. How are you this fine day?
Good morning. I am doing great, Russ. I'm so excited to be on your podcast and broadcast. It's amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you so much. So for those that are not familiar with who you are and they need to connect with you give us the snapshot of who Cami is and what you are up to these days. Because it's fascinating to me. It's always been fascinating to me.
Thank you. I don't know why you're fascinated, but there it is. So I am the founder of Social Media Breakfast of Houston. I also run an agency here in town, social media agency. We help large brands with their social media, including like their community management. So I've run community management for very, very big brands and outreach campaigns for. We launched Google for Nonprofit. We run the Houston Methodist Hospital system here with 7 hospitals and 200 locations of doctors, which you can imagine right now during COVID has been fabulous. And we have very busy. And we have I ran SeaWorld social media for many, many years as well. So just, I love social media. I've always loved it. And so I started a group in Houston pretty much so that I could be around like-minded people and really kind of connect, because I've always worked from home, which is interesting during this time too, because I've always worked from home. And I have a great team of people that work at home too with me. So it's been interesting. And in the meanwhile, while we've been in, quarantine, I went ahead and launched Smart Social Secrets, which is my new online course, because I really, as a small business owner myself, I have a passion for small business owners, which is part of the reason why Social Media Breakfast, right? Yeah. And now I have an online course for those types. And we just finished our first cohort of Smart Social Secrets, 30 students. Really excited about that too.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you the reason why I'm fascinated is because I connected with you while I was living in Houston in Social Media Breakfast, as many other people do. And I just found it so, it was just so refreshing to have so many like-minded people in the same room, having conversations about different aspects of social media, and then seeing familiar faces that you have connected with online and hadn't seen in person. And just that it was almost like the same experiences I have with a lot of LinkedIn Lives when we could go to live events. And it was just fun. It was just a great experience and a lot of activity around people that you already know. And so you've been doing that for a while and being in social media and being kind of a predominant force in Houston that I just always enjoyed the presentation, the experience, and everything about it. So thank you so much for doing that.
Well, we really missed you in Houston. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I started Social Media Breakfast 11 years ago at this point. Wow. And before that, I lived in San Antonio, and that's where I started blogging. And at that time, that's when I kind of got my network of people. So I've been at this social media thing for probably more than that, 17 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. So on this course, tell me about the course, because I want to adventure down that path a little bit more and identify who is it for, and are you going to do it much like, an academy where it's a start, middle, and finish and people graduate? Or
yes. We're going to definitely do that. So I've been wanting to do this for a lot of years. And also a lot of people have asked me to do this for a lot of years. And I've been sort of resistant to it because it's work. And we have a big agency and we're working pretty hard with our clients. And but what I've realized is I've got this system that we use for all of our clients. And then other agencies started to hire me to come in and teach them how to use that system for their clients. So I've done that for like maybe like 5-6 agencies at this point. And so I was like, you know what? I really feel like that the little guy never gets anything, like I want to give this as a to the small entrepreneur or the small business owner. So in our group right now, it's crazy. We've got like a carpet cleaner. We've got some small agency owners. We've got a business coaching. We've got like a nonprofit. We have a somebody who does social media for their city. I don't know how we. I know I actually teach narrowing your niche, and I really do narrow my niche. I'm like, I really want to help entrepreneurs and small businesses to find, engage, and grow their online community. And I'm all about how do you build a community? That's pretty much underpins everything I do. Is like, how do I teach a brand how to build a community around the brand, or for that brand to join a community and be a good citizen in that community? Both things. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to teach. And so we have a 4-part system. It's a framework that starts with clarity, which is around the strategy. So having a strategy, it's not about like, how do you do a really great job getting 10,000 followers on Instagram? That's not what this course is about. This course is really about how do you build a solid social media strategy and figure out which platform is best for you. And you may be on several platforms or one, it doesn't matter. It's like, where is your ideal community member living? And you need to go there, and then you engage them where they're at. So that's really what it's about in the clarity. And then we go on to connecting. And so the biggest question I get from people all the time is, how do I find the people that I need to connect with online? That's like the number one question. So I have an entire module about connection and how do you find a connection? And in fact, that's my free gift, that I have that if people are interested, which is a 2x2. It's really about how go small to go big. So I have these smart social secrets. That's why it's called that. It's counterintuitive that you go small to go big. And that's really, I think it's a huge piece of my secret sauce is that I go small to go big. And these are leveraging points. So, I know Russ Johns now, and Russ Johns brings me on his podcast, but I spent some time getting to know Russ Johns. I mean, I actually know him. It's not like just this thing that happened, right? So I think, when I teach people that and they start doing this 2x2 formula that I've put together, that's easy, by the way. You basically talk to 2 people every day and you put out 2 pieces of content that are engaging, that aren't about you and aren't like, big,
It's simple and brilliant at the same time. And I think people a lot of times fail to realize that they don't need to have 10,000 connections. And you think of the long game and you think about, okay, I'm always amazed because people ask me to be on the show. They say, hey, I'm interested in being on your program, your Pirate Broadcast. And then they say, well, how big is your audience? It's like, you're kind of missing the point of the whole show here if you're asking how
you watched the show.
Yeah, like, have you watched the show? But that's I like that, and I want to make sure that we highlight that is connect with 2 people a day and build community. It's like social media is just a tool for building a relationship.
And I've got some tips around that. That's really, and people can sign up for that. Happy to throw the link in the notes later for anybody who wants it. But really the bottom line is that the consistency of that, right?
Yeah.
Every day going out there. And even if you only do it 5 days a week, it adds up over a year. You're going to, connect with thousands of people.
Well, I haven't even been doing the Pirate Broadcast for a year, and I got over 170 episodes.
Wow. Crazy.
And that is it's fairly substantial in terms of content. And it's a lot of great, amazing conversations and I'm just, I'm curious about people, and I like to have a conversation like this and highlight you, you're somebody that I want to highlight. And it's like, people need to know what gifts you bring to the table and how they can engage with you and where they can find you. And it's like, okay, this is something I can do and I enjoy it. So it sets my day and gives me, purpose in my life, so I can help others. So it's.
And I think that's the other part, is that you want to use social media in a way that not only edifies yourself, but edifies others. Right. So I don't know. I love it.
I think it's a good practice myself personally.
Well, I mean, obviously we're kind of like preaching to our own choir here, but that's okay.
I was going to say, because that's exactly what I see in you. It's like you are highlighting, you're helping others around you all the time. And if you're not connected with Cami, get connected.
I hope
So
you will. Yeah, I hope you will for sure.
yeah. So I want to go down a little different path because
sure.
You've seen the transition, from when you were in San Antonio doing the blogs and blogging, and you've seen the transition over into video and maybe some podcasting. Was early on. 5 years ago, I think I was teaching. I don't know, maybe it was 6 years ago that I was teaching a podcast movement and teaching podcasting and also a lot of companies have. It's been kind of a slow adoption in some areas and massive adoption in other areas. Yeah. And I'm just kind of curious on what you have seen that has surprised or made you go, on the social media path, with all the platforms and all of the changes and the algorithm and things like that. Just a general observation of what you've noticed over the last 10, 15 years.
Oh, just talk about everything from the last 10, 15 years. No, I mean, the funny thing is that things change all the time in social media, but the one thing that never changes is people's desires to connect with each other. And that is, I think, the biggest thing that I've seen is that there's this thread that runs through it always is this, how can we connect? And we don't, especially businesses don't always do it the right way because we're just eager to be heard. And the problem is that before you can be heard, you have to listen. And I think, you see that in our culture right now. In America, we're having all kinds of crazy things going on that's really what that's about, is that people haven't been heard for so long. And now they're like, I demand to be heard. So I think, businesses do feel that way too. They're like, I have this amazing thing that I want to share. And they go out and they just start to share it. But the key is that first you must listen, right? In order to really understand what the people are. So I are wanting from you, really. And then start with them and not you. That's always been something that I found that works the best, is start with their needs and speak into that rather than your own, hi, my name is Cami and I have all these awards. Cool. And they're like, I don't care. What can you do for me? So I lead with, I can help you build your online community because I know that you're eager to start getting people to listen. And here's how you get them to listen. Yeah. And then they are open to hearing the messages around the connect and all that kind of stuff, and how to create the content that actually people care about. Well,
so there you go. So I asked you a big question and you brought nuggets of knowledge to the table. So that's the talent of Cami. So I just want to illustrate that. So it's like, start the conversation and then listen. That's what social media is really, really, I think, accelerated at in a lot of ways. And people, once they understand that and they get it, and they can start the engagement, especially companies, because I mean, what better resource do you have than, surveys and, getting feedback from your community than having a conversation. And it's massive when you can do it on social media in an intelligent way.
Yeah. And I always talk about really, I have something I call a word vault. It's just my little thing, but I take what people say and I put it in my word vault under the things that I offer. So I know exactly what they're saying their pain points are on specific things. So I could open my word vault right now and show you just, years and years of people, saying things and me just copying and pasting them straight into my word vault. And then I go back and look at that word vault whenever I'm trying to write something about that topic, or coming in here and saying, hey, I feel like whenever I go out and post, all I get is crickets. I mean, I hear that over and over again, that all I hear is crickets. And so it's like, I'll start with, hey, do you want to learn how to make content so that so you don't hear crickets every time you post?
Right. And it goes back to the engagement of what they're speaking, what they're bringing to the table, so you can actually respond with their words and their message as well. So.
And then they think how does this guy in my head?
Yeah.
Or this gal.
Yeah.
How's this person in my head?
Word vault.
Exactly. You need a word vault. So create it, and
See,
you need a
that's a great,
process.
another great nugget of knowledge. Some people call it a swipe file. Some people, have different names for it, and it's
Well, I
that.
don't like to call it a swipe file because that says that I took something from you, Russ Johns, and put it in my
Yeah,
it's like you did the work, but I'm saying I'm actually listening to the people that are my customers.
yeah.
I'm swiping from them, I guess, but
So feet on the
it's the truth.
street. I just
Mhm.
it's not a term that it's as endearing as we could use, right?
No.
So
Well, and you also talked about what has changed. And another piece is that obviously we did a lot of blogging back then, and there was no,
mhm.
I mean, then Twitter came along, and I actually remember thinking, how am I going to possibly keep up with my blog and Twitter? That's a
Yeah,
true statement. And then, Facebook blew up after that because people started moving to Facebook, and then now
yeah,
Instagram and TikTok and whatever it is. And in the end, I follow my community wherever they go.
yeah. Where's that today? Where do you see your community?
Currently, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
I will be honest, but in the
Okay.
last year or so, a lot more on LinkedIn on the business side,
Uh-huh.
a lot more on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has really gotten hopping. I think I think you've seen that too, and I have too.
Uh-huh.
And Facebook is still pretty strong. I mean, it's probably the strongest still in my age range group.
Uh-huh.
My ICM is what I call them, my ideal community member. And
Okay.
then a good number of them are starting to move over to Instagram at this point, so they're starting to drift over into Instagram. And so Instagram's hard, and it's not easy for me either, but I'm getting the hang. I'm working it.
You have any secret knowledge in Instagram as far as just
Stories,
workflow?
stories.
I have pushed back on stories. I started stories and then IGTV came out and I thought this could be cool.
And
And
it's getting cooler, by the way, because now your IGTV actually appears on your timeline.
I saw that and I
So if you
thought,
go look at mine today, like I put I do my weekly live stream on Thursday mornings.
uh-huh.
So I put mine from yesterday on my IGTV. It's the first one I've done on my IGTV. We'll see how it goes. But honestly,
Okay.
I've had quite a few people watch it.
I will go there.
Mhm.
I'll be like NASCAR and I'll go draft you.
Yeah, go draft me. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm like the best at Instagram. Believe me, I'm not at this point.
Uh-huh.
But I'm learning, and I'm always open to learning. That's the other part, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like one of these people. I'm super curious,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
I think we share that gift. I know that there's so many things we could be doing, and there's so many activities and there's only so much we can actually do with our time. We
Yes.
only have so many hours in the day.
Yes.
So we really have to be not frugal, but conscious of
Strategic.
very strategic, that strategery that we need in our life, right?
Right.
So,
And you do need to be strategic. I mean, you don't need to spread yourself so thin. And I tell my clients this all the time, as well as my students now. So
uh-huh.
in my class, I tell them pick 1, 2 max and focus.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I have a team.
Yeah.
So right now I've been doing my own social media. My team has been kind of writing me. So, hey, Katie, about my Instagram. She's like, you haven't been doing much social media lately. I'm like, I'm doing tons of Facebook. She goes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I said, I'm just not doing Instagram. She goes, yeah, that's true. Okay, so
That's
let's
true.
do that. So we're pouring the gasoline on different things at different times. As
Yeah.
I launched my course, I launched it pretty much all on Facebook and a little bit of Instagram and a little
Okay.
bit of LinkedIn. And LinkedIn specifically and Facebook were the big ones. And then Twitter, I kind of let fallow during that time, even though I have a big following on Twitter, because it really wasn't the right audience for the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, some, but not all.
Well, I admire your ability and your the activities that you put out there, and I've followed you for a while now, and it's just nice and refreshing to hear you reflect what I'm feeling, and it's like, okay, you can't be everywhere all the time and do an incredibly great
I am
job.
omniscient.
Well, you are efficient. You are one of the most efficient people I know. So it's like you're always doing something that is really it's generous to the community. I just love the things that you bring to the table, and I appreciate what you're doing in social media as well, and putting things out there. And I notice things that I'm not doing, and it's really like, oh, okay, I could add that to my workflow, and it would be very strategic and very. It's not difficult. It's not a difficult process. You just have to consider how you're going to add it to your workflow, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Russ, because I think also give yourself some time and patience. So give your own self patience. I'm telling this to you listening. Give yourself some time and patience, because it took me a while to like think about what my process was. So another thing that really, really helps is that thinking about your ideal community member. Who is it you want to help? Who is that person that you really loved working with and you'd like to work with more people like that?
Yeah.
Think about that person, and then think about how you help people. So if I sat you down, Russ, and said, hey, when you sit down with a client or what you do, I don't actually know exactly what you do. So that's the other part. Not knowing is another problem, right? So everybody should know what you do. So if I sat you down and said, tell me step by step what you do to help a person if they come to you and say, hey, help me with my social media? What do you do step by step? I'm like interviewing you in your own show. I'm sorry.
This is brilliant because, as you know, I'm doing live video, and I'm an advocate for live video. So my recent project, the Pirate Syndicate, is I essentially do everything on the back office production. So you show up for the show, and everything else is done for you.
And it was very nice, by the way. It was like, usually I'm the one doing all this work. I'm like, this is an easy show to be on, by the way. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It has taken a lot of time to make it look that easy.
It's good. And you've got good team members on the back end that are helping you. So you're not doing this all by yourself. That's very important, right?
Document and delegate. So anything you can document, you can delegate, right?
Right. So the question is then, how do you sit somebody down and teach them how to do that process for themselves? I'm assuming you teach people how to do that process for themselves too. Do you have any
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, what I end up doing is I have all of these steps, and there's some shows have like 54 steps, start to finish. It's the creative process. It's like the graphics, the social media connections, the ability and opportunity to add their descriptions and what their voice is all about. And then it's also the production of, how does it go out on social media? When does it go out on social media? And where does it appear? And where do you want to focus your time on? And
so there's like the before, the during, and the after, or something like that. So I would suggest you take your 50 something steps, whatever it is, and break them down into 3 to 4 buckets.
Yeah. I call them milestones. So
milestones. So you break them down, and the human brain only really remembers about optimally 4 things, 3 to 4 things. And so if you can have a process, because mine's a 4-part process, clarity, connect, create your content, calibrate your results, start over, clarity, get your strategy in order, connect, create, calibrate. Over and over. So if you can put everything into buckets, so those of you out listening, I'm talking to Russ, but really I'm talking to you. What is your process? How do you help people? And how can you make it extremely simple for them to understand how you help them? And then you can articulate that. You can turn it into buckets of content. I can talk about clarity. I can talk about how to connect. I can talk about how to create your content, and I can talk about how to measure it and get results and do some pivoting. Those are the 4 things.
And that's a beautiful process, because once the onboarding process is completed for me, then it's exactly that process. It's like, okay, promote the show,
right?
Produce the show, and promote the show that was done. And rinse and repeat.
And that's how it works. Yeah. And that's how it works. And the cool thing about that is you can do that with any company, any business, any nonprofit, any organization. What is your process? And if you don't have one, I used to really find myself, people ask me, what's your process? I'm like, well, I work with my clients. It's all customized. Well, it still is all customized, but no, I have these 4 parts that I take people through. I can help them do. And, in the create bucket, I can help them create their content, put together like about 6 months worth of content in about 2 hours, as far as ideas. In the connect bucket, we can help them find and engage their audience. I can also help them use influencers to do so, which is also a part of connect? How do you find those influencers and engage them and have them help you? So I had to find the process that I had and then start talking about the process instead of saying, because people need to see how you're going to work with them. They need to understand it in order to say yes to it.
Yeah. Confused mind never buys as well. So if you can simplify it and deliver very simple terms, then it's much easier to consume and get on board with it too. So it's like, okay, we're just going to make it simple. We're going to do A, B, and C, and then.
And believe me, it's anything but simple as far as like the machinations behind it. There's a lot, but if the quicker you can get your client from like point A to point B in the result, like if they can start getting little wins, results, whatever you want to, quick wins, whatever you want to call them, they're going to start to believe you or like trust you and want to work with you more.
Well, and I think the danger also is in the initial communication with them. Because there are times where social media is not just it's not a one and done event. It's an ongoing process, and engagement in a community in relationship building. It does take some time to build a little bit of momentum. And some people just say, hey, I just need a sale now. Just tomorrow. Can you book, and it's, I don't know. It's a challenging approach if that's where they're coming from. And it's like,
there's a lot of pressure, I think, in a business. You come up with an idea and then you're like, okay, we have to sell this immediately, right? So there is some like outside pressures in that, maybe a boss pressure too, and some other things. So, and I've worked in public relations, by the way, for over 20 years. That's where I started, was in PR. And that's actually why I loved social media so much, because I felt like it was a true realization of that one-to-one, exchange of information. This is the whole thing we learn in public relations, is this important, connection that we're supposed to make with the public for our companies or brands. And it was not really super easy to do that through a press release in the media. Just saying. So like the idea of being able to sit down and have a conversation like this with you, and then at the same time scale that, because so many other people could be watching at the same time, is huge for like communications. I mean, we're living in an age of communication that is like unprecedented.
Oh, it's insane.
And we're really lucky to be here. So I want to use this opportunity wisely. I want to use it to make the biggest impact possible. So one of my goals right now is to help 1,000 small businesses and entrepreneurs build their communities of at least 1,000 true fans. Because if you have 1,000 true fans in your community, you're making a living.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly, he wrote the article, and it's just like something that
in 2008, by the way.
Yeah, and it's still true today. So
and they don't wait. Before you go on, Kevin Kelly, so you guys know, was the founding editor of Wired magazine. And he just came up with this idea, a very simple idea that's just a no-brainer in so many ways. And when you say it, if you have 1,000 people pay you about $200 a month, or no, sorry, $200 a year. So they buy anything from you and they spend $200 a year on you. That's a $200,000 income.
Yeah.
Easy.
Simple math.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi to some of the people that are in the room and in the show. So Oziel, Oziel.
Oh, hey. How are you, Oziel? Another amazing Houston guy who's doing awesome stuff for the podcasting community in Houston. So thrilled with him and what he's doing. He's pulled an amazing community together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Oziel, you got to be on the show. I've been on your show. You got to be on the Pirate Broadcast. So.
Yeah, he does. He should be here.
He should
for
be
sure.
Here. So we got Sarathi. He's in the room. Stacy, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Arcot, thank you. Oh, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
He's been in Houston before. Sherry.
Well, hey, a lot of people have been through Houston. Hey, Sherry, how are you? She's a connector. I like that.
Yeah, Wendy. She's started a podcast. She's doing some amazing things.
Awesome. I have to check all of you out. I'm excited to meet you all.
And then Wendy. Good morning, Wendy. We were on the phone last night. I love what she's doing. She's amazing. And then 2x2, I can do that. That's the message that we want to be able to convey. Is
I need to get you that link. Well, we'll put it in the comments. I guess.
Show notes, yeah.
Show notes.
So And then David Munford, good morning. Oh, Michelle, good morning, Pirates. She's
Good
in here.
morning. Hey, Michelle.
And I know you have a busy schedule and a busy day, and I just want to make sure.
Marie. You forgot Marie. Don't forget Marie. Marie, hello.
There's Marie.
Hi.
Hey, nice to be here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. And I know there's probably others that are not showing up.
I know it doesn't always show up for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah, I don't know why either. It's kind of, and I would love the opportunity to have you connect with Cammie. She's an amazing individual, and thank you so much for being here, Cammie. I appreciate you and all you're doing. And next time I'm in Houston, I'll have to schedule it next to a social event.
Social media breakfast. Well, hey, and honestly, since you're not, you can come anytime you want. I mean, because now we're just doing it all online. So anybody can attend social media breakfast right now, by the way, because I've been doing this live, and we do it on the second Friday of every month in the morning at, it's after this. So that's good. It's 8:30 my time. So that would be like literally, like before. I don't know. It might be over this. So no, go to Russ's thing and then watch mine in replay. Or I'll have Russ on and we'll do like a pirate broadcast / social media breakfast.
Yeah,
like
mashup. We'll have a mashup.
Oh, that would be fun. Let's do that. No, let's do that. Let's just go ahead and have a mashup. I think
that would be fun. That would be a blast.
Oh, let's do that. August is open. Let's do a mashup.
Oh, let's do a mashup in August then.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Let's do it. Cool. Done.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Cammie. Dropping these nuggets of knowledge and these golden tips and strategies. And so where would you like people to go to find you so I can drop those in the notes as well?
Yes. Okay. So first of all, you can go anywhere. I'm KAMICHAT on any platform except for I'm Cammie Huyse on Facebook because they don't let you have a funny name. So I'm Cammie Chat everywhere else. That was my AOL screen name back in the day. So that tells you how old I am. Just FYI. So KAMICHAT. So you can reach me anywhere in any of my platforms there. And then I'm Cammie Huyse, which is Cammie's Smart Social Secrets on Facebook. And then of course, Smart Social Secrets is coming along, and I'd love to get the 2x2 in your guys' hands. It's six emails I send you, and it goes step by step through how to do it. Easy peasy. So I love that.
Because the podcast, the post, the transcription, and all that stuff will be up by the end of the day today.
Awesome. I'll get you the link today.
Love that. Awesome. So, well, thank you so much. I look forward to having a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend. And if you're listening to this on the replay, please like and share, add comments, and all the social things that go along with that. And I will see you again with another interesting guest doing interesting things. And Cammie, as always, it's a pleasure. All the gratitude in the world for you.
Yeah, you too. I'm so glad to see you. I super miss you. I mean, I love that. I always loved Russ sitting in the audience with his beard and just very thoughtful. And I just miss that in-person stuff. I really do. I think we all miss this in-person stuff. So guys, be kind to yourself right now. Yeah. For those of you who are Black that are listening to this right now, I just want you to know that I have been absolutely doing whatever I can to help out in this regard. And so I want you to know that too. For those of you who want to learn more about that too, you can talk to me, because if you're white, especially, because we're going to have a group that meets pretty regularly once a month that talks about how we can be great allies. So let me know if you're interested in that as well. I guess I should talk about that too, because we're going to have an ally group that's starting called Joining Voices. So. Oh,
fantastic. I love that. I love that. Well, give us more information and drop it in, and I'll be happy to share it. Okay. And then also, once it's going, let's get you back on the show to talk about it.
Yeah, and we can bring Jennifer Tejada in with me, because Jennifer Tejada, who actually helped me start Social Media Breakfast back in the day, she's an amazing Black woman. She reached out to me and said, Cammie, I want you to use your platform to make a difference in this issue. And I was like, tell me what I need to do, Jennifer. And so Jennifer and I are starting Joining Voices together.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, thank you, everyone. And look forward to hearing more about that, Cammie. And also, that kindness is cool. And smiles are free. So I want you to enjoy the day. All right?
I love it.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.